You're looking at the person with disability and you're thinking. Don't think. You're looking at the person with disability and you're rationalizing. Don't rationalize. Allow them express. Allow them act. Allow them practice and learn from our experiences. Because it is only when you do that that you can find out that we can walk, and also win.
We live in a world where some people think being blind, deaf, lame can be a curse, a taboo, or virus. There's a need for the world to realize that persons living with disabilities can also work and win. If we give them the opportunity, they can also exhibit their talent. But when we stigmatize them, they can only lose. It's high time we let our whole society include and access this individual.
Kwa mradi huu, tunatarajia kupanga kozi jambo hilo lisilowezekana linaweza kuwezekana. Na ulemavu kamwe sio laana. Jiunge nasi kila mtu kwenye safari hii ya uvumbuzi. Kwa pamoja tuvunje kila mpaka. Asante.
Wow, about myself. When I arrived in Dzaleka, I found that there was no job and there was no suitable schools which I could continue my education. So I applied for tailoring. I did tailoring, 6 months of training. After I completed, the following year, I went for Bible school.
I started my education quite, young. I attended St. Catherine Model College, then moved ahead to Regan Memorial Baptist Girls Secondary School, and then they came at me. My eyes started. My eye could not see again. Then I was about to write my mathematics examination and they said, no, you cannot write it. I underwent surgeries which did not do any good to my eye. And here I am, a blind person, a certified blind person. And from there, I came to the most prestigious university, right? University of Lagos, where I had, my bachelor's degree in mass communication. And afterwards, I concluded with the master's in public and international affairs at the same University of Lagos.
In DRC, I study about languages like French, like English, and others languages which we were learning there in DRC. Okay. But I didn't finish my study.
I am 67 years old. Yeah. In our time, I did not go further with my education because we had no secondary schools. Mm-hmm. The only secondary school was Msanja at that time, and the only 2 people were being selected. Wow. So I did standard 8 for 6 years, which means I graduated there.
I went to a blind school, a partially school for the blind, because I actually lost my sight at a young age. And after which I went on to Federal Government College, Ijaniki.
An inclusive school for both blind and sighted. And after which I proceeded into University of Lagos, where I backed my BA in history. My soft skills and the professional skills for me is acquiring soft skills like computer literacy.
Thank God for the software developers that at least have the visually impaired in mind and able to create a software, a screen reader that enables me to use my computer with utmost ease.
I've done a number of trainings. I'm a certified content marketer, inbound marketer, and SEO expert. So I have experiences in audio recording, audio editing. I write, I'm a voiceover artist, and I also do a little bit of video directing. So I have experience working with the Guardian newspapers. At the moment I work with Sterling Bank, Nigeria. On the side, to make a little bit of income, I also play the talking drum.
Uvira nilikuwa niko nasoma. Wakati wazazi walipofariki, na mimi nikaachia msomo la 4. Nina elimu yangu kidogo tu ya kusoma na kuandika. Nilikuwa katika biashara. Nilikuwa najipiga maisha ya kwenda huko na kule kwa kupata jinsi ya kuishi. Eneo limakala kwa kuna kudoa na vita skulu na fuzia nditu mpaka form 4. Koma form 4 yake sina chile bwino moti kozo lembelwa nchito. Ndinachivomereza ndinamba business. Ndinazo kuti kukhala ndi chilema sikulephera. Paka business panova yekuteka pang'ono.
In 2017, eventually, it was decided for me. I went totally blind. And, you know, I came in contact with something that many people might find very strange. I became free. I became free. You know, being standing in the middle all my life, and then totally blindness came, and it was just the start of everything. I started developing skills. I learned how to use the computer and how to read with Braille. I went and wrote my JAM. I scored 248. It was amazing. I came into University of Lagos, was admitted for sociology, and look, the story has been great and great and great all along.
So when you have a person with disability, say a blind person or a visually impaired person, in the midst of persons without disability, and they are able to comfortably talk, they are able to comfortably interact, you know, within the space, within the discussion, not just talking about disability or impairment, right? You're able to talk about climate change, you're able to talk about the sustainable development goals, you're able to talk about, you know, things that are happening, right? That's inclusion for me.
Inclusion is you. Inclusion is everyone entirely. The moment that you can give somebody else that you think is different from you the chance to speak where you are, they can be what you can be. They can do what you can do. The ability that you give them to do these things is what inclusion implies.
Lima banga isentu sosiyana siyana ngati kulima, kugulisa ndiwo, kugulisa tomato. Anthu amayankhula zambiri kuti anthu awa mwina kumakaniko kugula malonda kumene koma ukakhala wakhama anthu aja amazasiya zimenezo. Chifukwa amazindikira kuti iwenso ndiwe munthu ngati omwe. Ndikhoza kunena kuti kukhala ndi chilema sikulephera. Ukhoza kupanga zinthu zomwe wina aliyense amapanga. Bola mwini wakewo usazionere pansi.
So about inclusion, first of all, when I arrived here in Dzaleka, so I felt accepted with this organization, Umoja People with Disabilities, because they are helping me to study about computer, and they are helping me to study for free.
Bias itself, you know, is mostly caused by the employers of labor.
Right? Because I remember when I started the job, you know, in the radio station, they were like, how would you, if we send you, you know, this document, will you be able to access it? So now, that kind of a thing, imagine someone scanning or snapping a photo for me and telling me to, you know, say or translate it. How would you? You're rather magnifying my impairment and placing a disability in that in that area. So there are challenges like infrastructural challenges, attitudinal barriers, communication barriers too as well.
To my side, I can say that when I completed my skills as a tailor, the one who was the manager there accepted me easily because he knew my category of education. But those colleagues whom I found at that working place, they did not accept me easily. They were laughing at me. They were bringing a lot of challenges to my side. I once wanted to drop out to stop it because of their negative words.
So if I were to be sitting across from a hiring manager, what I would tell him or her is that persons with disability have all their faculties intact. So for example, I'm visually impaired, but does not take away the fact that I can still contribute meaningfully to your company. So why we want to not employ someone because of their disability when on the long run they can still contribute to your income, because hey, companies are there to make profit. So if a person with disability can give you the profits that you need, why not do it? Why are you excluding them?
A lot of organizations, NGOs have been a great support to me in assisting, in being the intermediary between me and the employers out there. Organizations like Redefining Foundation, MTN Foundation, Project Enable, INGA, and a lot, because this is the people that are clamoring for inclusion. Yeah, for instance, Redefining Foundation, they really helped because I had a program with them which they connected me to work with a travel agency, and honestly it was such a fun experience. So organizations like that have been a great support.
Advice which I could give to the employers in Dzaleka, in Malawi, even around the world, is that one, they need not to neglect the people living with disability. They need to give them suitable education. They need to help them to support their families for tomorrow's future. We've got families. Those children whom we have, if you don't give us work, how are we going to educate our children? How are they going to be greater in the future? How are they going to support the society if you fail to give us the work which you could support our children? Like the way I am. I have 2 children. I don't have a husband. There are a lot of things that my husband spoke to me when he married me. I used to cry. They are bad words. When he looks at me, he sees a disabled person. He used to bring out insults.
And as you have seen and heard from them, they have various experiences that life has produced for them. And we want to ensure that this movie breaks out all of the stereotypes and biases that subjugates them for not enabling them gain access to jobs. And that is one of the reasons why my partner Tuson Farini and I decided to come together from both African countries to see how we could give meaning into people with disabilities, especially youths with disabilities who experience one sort of marginalization or the other. We believe that you who is watching this movie, an employer or an advocate or a legislature official, can see reason to say, hey, we want to transform the status quo. We want to increase the number of people with disabilities into the workforce. And so we beg and enjoin you. We want more voices, more resources. We want to ensure that people with disabilities in both countries and other African countries, can get out of the stereotype and get access to jobs or entrepreneurship. Who says that you can't be, working with someone who has blindness or someone with cerebral palsy? They're just human. All you have to do is enrich your talent. They have it. So get it out of them. Be part of the movement. Be part of the voice in order to create a more inclusive world. We want to say a big thank you to the Mandela Washington Fellowship. We want to say a big thank you to the U.S. Department of State. We want to say a big thank you to IREX, because without them, we wouldn't have pulled out this project. Thank you for being part of this Voices. And we indeed know that this film will break almost all of the stereotypes around employment for people with disabilities.
On and on, they keep telling us that the government is, responsible for us. They have to be the ones to put things in check. And I totally agree. They've done it with the 5% Disability Act, that employers of labor should employ persons with disability. Are these people doing it Probably not yet, and that's the purpose for which we are doing this project. We want you, persons of the public, listening to us, giving us the chance to speak, to see us for what we are and apply to the laws. And we, as persons with disability, we keep on improving ourselves. We keep on upgrading. We keep on proving to the world that yes, we can do it. And we hope that when we stand and when we shine, you will give us the ability to walk, to work, and then to win.